You've spent too long trying to prove yourself to people who don't even see you. You've been stretched and sacrificed who are to win applause that never comes. But now it's to turn inward. It's time to focus on yourself. Not because you're selfish. No, but because you're called. Because you've been created for more than begging for validation. Because destiny isn't found in the crowd. It's found in a place, the broken place, the sacred space of self-refinement. See, when you focus on yourself, you stop chasing people and start chasing purpose. When you focus on yourself, you stop rehearsing your wounds and start building your future. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You've cried enough tears for people who didn't care. You've lost too much sleep trying to fix what didn't want to be healed. Now it's time to shock everyone, not by revenge, not by noise, but by rising silently while they thought you were sinking. Let them underestimate you. Let them count you out. Let them talk behind your back. While they're gossiping, you're grinding. While they're laughing, you're learning. While they're busy judging, you're becoming the version of you that doesn't need the world's permission to be great. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Your solitude is not punishment, it's preparation, because what God is doing in your life isn't meant to be seen yet. It's being developed in the dark. And when the time is right, when the oil has settled, when the pressure has produced the diamond, when the battle has shaped the warrior, they won't recognize you. You will shock every doubter, every critic, every "you'll never make it" voice with the undeniable evidence of elevation. But it starts with focus not on your enemies, not on your ex, not on what they posted, not on who left you. Focus on yourself, your habits, your healing, girl, your holiness. Don't just want success, build structure. Don't just pray for better, prepare for it. Don't just speak it, discipline into existence. They laughed when you stumbled. They celebrated your breakdown, but God was using that pain to rewire your focus. Now you're not distracted. Now you're not moved by trends or opinions. Now you're locked in on your vision, your peace, your assignment. And when the breakthrough hits, oh, they'll look for the old version of you, but they'll only find the afterglow of someone who didn't quit. So keep working in silence. Keep sharpening in solitude. Keep grinding in private. And soon, without a word, revenge, without even trying, you will shock them all. You've got to understand, validation is one of the most seductive distractions you'll ever face. The need to be seen, to be applauded, to be liked. It feels good, doesn't it? But let me tell you something powerful today. Validation is a trap, a sweet poison. When a trap that keeps you walking in circles when you were meant to run in purpose. You cannot build a life of vision on the crutches of approval. If you are constantly checking who clapped for you, who followed you, who praised you, then your energy is leaking. And if your energy is leaking, your purpose is drowning. There is something about needing people's applause that will cause you to shrink yourself, to dim your light, to silence your role. You'll start editing your authenticity to make others comfortable. You'll trade in your truth for their temporary attention. And soon, you won't recognize yourself, not because you failed, because you forgot yourself. But hear me, you're me. Your calling didn't come with a comment section. Courage to win. Your gift didn't need permission to be born. You were fearfully and wonderfully made long before anybody could like it. You've got to learn how to step into the fullness of who you are without a cheerleader. You've got to learn how to clap for yourself in the dark, how to stand firm when nobody else gets it, how to keep building even when you're building alone, because real power comes from within, not from praise, not from popularity, not from people patting you on the back, but from that sacred place inside of you where purpose speaks louder than opinions, where conviction rises above comparison, courage to win, where your why is stronger than their do they think. And let me be real with you. Some of the people you're trying to impress are more broken than you are. You're exhausting yourself to be noticed by people who haven't even noticed themselves. Why would you contort your soul for someone who doesn't even know their own? Stop dimming your greatness to be digestible. You were never made to fit in. You were made to stand out. The moment you stop seeking validation, you'll start walking in liberation. To win, you'll breathe differently, move differently, because you'll no longer need permission to shine. When you let go of the applause, And you gain clarity, and with clarity comes focus, and with focus comes fire. You begin to see who you are beyond the noise, beyond the filters, beyond the comparisons. You begin to operate from vision, not insecurity, from wholeness, not approval, from identity, not imitation. Focus on yourself. Dig deep. Heal the parts of you that crave applause. Rewire the places that need outside affirmation. Learn to validate yourself through discipline, through progress, through alignment with your values. And as you do, the chains of people pleasing will start to fall. The mask will drop. The real you, the powerful you, grounded you, the grounded, the undeniable you will rise. And listen, when that version of you shows up, you won't need to shock anyone. Your peace, your confidence, your glow, it'll do all the talking. They'll ask, what happened to you? And you'll simply smile. Because while they were watching everybody else, you were watching yourself. And that's the key that unlocks everything. There comes a moment in your life when you realize that not everyone is meant to walk with you. Not everyone deserves access to your energy, your space, your vision. You see, for too long you've been distracted by people, chasing people, pleasing people, trying to explain yourself to people who were never supposed to understand you. But when you decide to stop chasing people and start chasing purpose, something radical begins to shift. Your life begins to gain traction. Your time starts to gain value. And your heart stops breaking over people who were only passing through. You don't need everybody. You need alignment. You need clarity. You need to stop spreading yourself and trying to keep connections alive that are choking the life out of your destiny. When you chase people, you abandon yourself. You compromise, you shrink, you pour out what you don't even have. And after all of that, they still leave. They still misunderstand you. They still don't see your worth. So why keep running after doors that were never yours to walk through? Why keep knocking on hearts that were never open to your truth? You've got to get to a place where you say, I'm done chasing people. I'm chasing purpose now. Because it doesn't ghost you. Purpose doesn't betray you. Purpose doesn't change its mind about you. Purpose stays. Purpose anchors you. Purpose grows with you. You were never created to be everybody's friend, everybody's answer, everybody's savior. Some of the people you're holding on to are distractions dressed up like destiny. They came to teach you, not travel with you. And the longer you try to drag them into your future, the more delayed you become. Stop tying yourself to people who only show up when it's convenient. Stop chasing those who only love you when you're easy to love. Purpose isn't always popular. It doesn't always come with company. Sometimes chasing purpose means walking alone for a season. It means saying no to invitations, no to drama, no to familiarity. It means building silently, moving differently, thinking higher. And yes, it hurts. It hurts to let go. It hurts to walk away. But let me tell you something. There is healing in the hurt. There is growth in the goodbye. There is clarity in the separation. When you stop chasing people, you start hearing God more clearly. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop living on emotional crumbs. You start walking like you know who you are. You start thinking like you've got something sacred to protect. You start moving like someone who understands that not everyone deserves front row access to your life. This is the season to protect your energy, protect your peace, protect your mission. You don't have time to keep following people who don't know where they're going. You've got a vision to fulfill, a life to build, a calling to walk in. And that calling doesn't require everyone to clap for you. It doesn't require everyone to come along. It just requires you fully present, fully surrendered, fully focused. So fix your eyes forward. Let go of the weight that's slowing you down. You're not chasing people anymore. You're chasing purpose. And when you do that, when you move with that kind of focus, you won't have to seek validation because your results will speak louder than your words. Your transformation will echo louder than any explanation. And those who once ignored you will be the same ones asking how you did it. But by then, you'll be too busy living it. There is a quiet power that comes when you stop announcing everything you're working on and start moving in silence. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not say a word. Let them wonder, let them assume, let them talk. But while they're busy whispering, you're busy working. While they're caught up in your past, you're focused on your future. You don't owe anybody a public explanation for a private transformation. Let your elevation be your evidence. See, We live in a world that teaches us to broadcast every move. Post it, share it, show it. But purpose doesn't need to be paraded. Destiny doesn't need to be displayed. Growth often happens in the dark, just like a seed buried, unseen. But just because it's underground doesn't mean it's not alive. Just because not visible doesn't mean it's not becoming. And that's where you are. You're in the becoming, quietly evolving, silently breaking old patterns, privately shedding layers. You may not look like much on the outside, but on the inside, a revolution is taking place. And it's better that way, because when you move in silence, you cut off the noise, you protect the process. You keep sacred what the world doesn't deserve to touch yet. Not everyone will understand what you're building. Not everyone will value the cost of your healing. Not everyone can see the pressure behind your progress. That's why it's not for them to see yet. They'll see when it's time. They'll witness the results, not the rehearsal. You see, some things lose power when you speak them too soon. There are dreams that need incubation, not exposure. Visions that need covering, not commentary. So hold it close. Guard your next move. Let your focus be louder than your updates. Let your discipline be louder than your declarations. You're not proving anything. You're preparing everything. And preparation is not glamorous. It's gritty. It's lonely. It's repetitive. But it's necessary. Because when the moment comes, and it will come, what youth in private will have the strength to stand in public. No shortcuts. No gimmicks. Just consistency, just alignment, just purpose. And when they finally see it, it'll be too solid to shake. You don't have to post your pain to be heard. You don't have to display your hustle to be validated. What's real will reveal itself in time, in strength, in fruit. Let them be shocked. Let them say, I didn't see that coming. That's the point. You weren't building for attention. You weren't building for longevity. You weren't climbing for applause. You were climbing for perspective. So stay quiet, stay focused, stay disciplined. Not everyone who claps for you supports you. Not everyone who sees your light wants you to shine. That's why silence is protection. It's your shield against sabotage, your strategy against distraction, your confirmation that you're more concerned with becoming than performing. And when it's time, when the foundation is solid and the vision is ripe, your fruit will speak louder than your words ever could. Your peace will echo louder than their opinions. Your presence will answer questions you never needed to explain. So keep moving in silence. Keep healing in private. Keep becoming in the background. And when your moment arrives, you won't need to say anything. Your elevation will speak all by itself. There's a lie that tells you if you're alone, you must be broken. That if nobody is around, you must be failing. That if your phone isn't buzzing, your life isn't moving. But I came to tell you something deeper. Your solitude is not a punishment. It's a preparation. It's a divine separation that is shaping you for the next level. Sometimes God pulls you away, not to isolate you in despair, but to insulate you with clarity. See, there's something about being alone that reveals what the noise has been covering. When you're surrounded by opinions, chaos, and distractions, it's hard to hear your own voice, let alone God's. But in solitude, that's where you get reintroduced to yourself. That's where the masks fall off. That's where the clutter gets clear. That's where your soul starts speaking truth. It's in solitude that strength is forged. The kind of strength that doesn't scream but stands. The kind of strength that doesn't need a crowd to feel confident. When you learn how to stand alone, you become dangerous to everything that tried to break you when you were surrounded, because now you're not performing. Now you're rooted. Now you've got vision that doesn't need validation. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it gets lonely. There are nights when the silence feels heavy and the questions feel louder than the answers. But that's when you dig in. Takes courage to win. That's when you stop reaching for people and start reaching inward. That's when you develop spiritual muscle. That's when you learn to encourage yourself. That's when your tears become your prayers and your pain becomes your teacher. Don't rush out of the season of solitude. Don't try to fill it with noise or crowd it with company just to feel better. There's something in the stillness that's molding you. There's something in the quiet that's teaching you what the crowd never could. Because when you step into your next season, when the doors open, when the tables turn, when the elevation comes, you won't be shaken. You'll be stable. You'll be anchored. You'll have already faced yourself in the dark. So no light will ever blind you again. The ones who shock the world aren't the loudest. They're the most prepared. And that preparation happens in solitude. That's where warriors are trained. That's where visionaries are refined. That's where leaders are tested. That's where broken hearts are healed and broken patterns are shattered. Let the world think you're missing out. Let them say you've gone quiet. Let them assume you've fallen off. But deep down, you're rising, you're becoming, you're focusing, you're healing. And when the time is right, what was built in the silence will erupt in strength. What was developed in the shadows will shine in the light. You don't have to force your way into rooms when you've been refined in solitude. You are the room. Win. You don't have to beg for attention when you've found peace in being alone. You are the message. And when you show up, it's courage to win. You won't need to explain where you've been. Your glow will say, I was with God. I was in the fire. I was under construction. So don't curse your solitude. Use it. Embrace it. Build in it. Prepare in it. Because when you come out of this season, you're not coming out empty. You're coming out equipped. And when that version of you walks into the room, everything that once overlooked, you won't even recognize you. Don't just wish for it, work for it. Don't just speak about it. Structure your life around it. We live in a time where everyone is talking vision, posting dreams, making declarations. But hear me clearly, success doesn't respond to noise. It responds to structure. Wanting it is not enough. You must be willing to build it. You must have the discipline to carry what you ask for, the endurance to maintain what you prayed for, and the strategy to steward what you dreamed of. You can't just pray for elevation and then live in confusion. You can't just cry for purpose and then refuse preparation. Purpose is not magic. It doesn't manifest through hope alone. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes structure. And structure is what separates the inspired from the impactful. Inspiration will get you started, but structure will keep you standing when motivation runs dry. You see, to win, when you're really focused on yourself, when you've locked into your mission, you stop being casual with your time. You stop wasting your mornings. You stop negotiating with your excuses, and you stop letting your emotions lead your decisions. You start moving with intention. You start waking up with a schedule. You start treating your gift like it's your responsibility, because it is. Your gift is not just something you have. It's something you must manage. It's to win. And hear me, it's just about working hard. It's not working smart. It's about planning your path, organizing your habits, protecting your energy, knowing your weaknesses, mastering your strengths. That's structure. And structure is the silent engine of success. Nobody sees it. Nobody claps for it. But it's what sustains you when the spotlight shows up. This is where most people fail. They want the reward without the routine. To win, they want the platform without the preparation. But what they don't understand is that your future is hiding in your daily structure. What you do consistently is shaping who you're becoming. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your systems. So if your structure is sloppy, your success will be unstable. This is why you've got to take your life seriously. It takes courage to win. You've got to build the kind of discipline that doesn't flinch when it's hard, that doesn't fold when it's boring, that doesn't quit when it's quiet. Greatness is not built on hype. It's built on habits. Habits of prayer, habits of focus, of health, habits of excellence. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's repetitive, but it works. You want to shock everyone. Build in silence. Structure your day. Track your progress. Refuse to live another year talking about what you're going to do it. Start with a plan. Start with one step. Start with one small change and keep showing up over and over, even when you're tired, even when nobody's watching, even when you feel like quitting, because here's what happens. Structure produces results. Results produce confidence, and confidence produces momentum. And when momentum kicks in, that's when things start shifting. That's when people start noticing. That's when you start shocking everyone. Not because you were loud, because you were locked in. So stop just dreaming. Stop disciplining. Stop just desiring. Start designing. Because if you build it right, if you structure it strong, nothing and no one will be able to shake what you've created. And when they see it, they won't just be surprised what you did. They'll be silenced by how consistent you were when no one was clapping. That's courage to the kind of power that shocks the world. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to justify your healing, your growth, or your progress to people who were never invested in your journey. At some point, you must understand that your transformation will speak louder than your explanations ever could. You've spent too much time to convince people you've changed, trying to explain why you're different, trying to break down what God is building in you. Courage to win, but hear me, when the real work is done on the inside, the outside will speak for itself. Your walk will talk, your results will roar, your peace will testify. There comes a time when you stop explaining and start embodying. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them try to piece together who you've become. It takes courage to win, because when you're truly evolving, there's no need to perform. You don't owe an apology for choosing peace over chaos. You don't need permission to move on from what broke you. You don't need to sit at tables where your value is questioned. You are the evidence. You win. You are the proof that growth is possible, that healing is real, and that purpose doesn't need permission. You used to defend yourself, used to shrink yourself, used to walk around with a heart full of pain and a mouth full of explanations, trying to make people understand the battle they never saw. But now, you've earned, you've outgrown the need to be understood. Now you're walking with clarity. Now you're living in alignment. And when you do that, it's courage to win. The ones who used to overlook, ignore you, doubt you, they won't even recognize you. They'll say, you've changed. And you'll say, thank God I did. They'll say, they're acting different. And you'll say, that's because I finally know who I am. You are no longer the broken version of yourself that begged for understanding. You are no longer tied to the opinions of those who only knew the old you. And that's why your transformation hits differently. Because you didn't scream it, you lived it. People argue with words, they challenge explanations, they question stories, but they cannot argue with results. They cannot deny the fruit. They cannot ignore the glow. And when you've put in the work, when you've fought through the storm, when you've cried in silence and still kept showing up, your life becomes your loudest answer. You don't need revenge. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to drag them into your new season to prove you're winning. Just becomes, rise, just execute. Just walk boldly in who you are now. Because the same people who question you will be the ones trying to study your strategy later. They'll watch the version of you that refuses to explain and realize they underestimated your silence. But don't do it for them. Do it for you. Do it for the younger version of you that didn't believe it was possible. Do it for the healing you never thought you'd find. H to win. Do it for the vision that kept you alive when everything was falling apart. Let your transformation be your truth. Let your progress be your platform. H to win. Let your holiness be your response. Because when you stop trying to be understood and start walking in understanding, you begin to move differently. And when that happens, when the shift becomes visible, that's when you shock everyone, not with words, not with speeches, but with the undeniable evidence of a life that speaks for itself.